You are now tuned into Mixstation Radio Live. The views and opinions of the guests and the hosts you hear on Mixstation Radio Live are not necessarily those of the staff and the management of Mixstation Radio Live, its sponsors, or advertisers.
Hey, I want to start a podcast.
Join the mix.
Can I broadcast to millions all over the world?
Join the mix.
Can I control my own content and share my show?
Join the mix.
Can I promote my product and my event?
Join the mix. Mixstation Radio is a worldwide internet radio station that specializes in video and audio podcasts on all social media platforms. You can download our free app, Mixstation Radio Live. That's MIXX Station Radio Live. We have 2 locations in Tulsa, Maryland, and Eastern Shore, Maryland. With our new service, you can host your own show from home with Mix Mobile. That's MIXX Mobile.
Did you say I can broadcast from home?
Yes, we have a new service called Mix Mobile. We can come to your location or you can log on virtually.
Hold up. That can't be true, man.
Yes, Mixstation can air any show from anywhere in the world, and all you need is a strong internet connection. Also, we have a toll-free 1-800 number.
So you're telling me I can stream on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and all the formats all at the same time and have people calling with comments?
Yes, join the mix. If you want to join the mix, email us at mixstation@gmail.com. Again, mixstation@gmail.com. That's MIXX station@gmail.com. Mixstation is sponsored by...
Hey, if you're not making enough money at your current job and you want more, or you're not happy and want more control of your career, then come over to cybersecurity. Online Security has a 10-week security fundamentals class that helps you get Security Plus certified, develops your resume so you can land an interview, and helps you study for the interview so you can get a job. So what are you waiting for? Go to OnlineSecurity.com and sign up for our next Security Plus class. And when you do, don't forget to use our discount code OnlineSecurity.
Erotic, taboo, sensual touch. Erotic, taboo, sensual touch. Touch me, kiss me, squeeze me, hold me. 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 Erotic, taboo, sensual touch. Erotic, taboo, sensual touch. Erotic, taboo, sensual touch.
All right. Good evening, everyone. You are tuned in to Intimate Connections with me. Quiet Storm will not be joining us tonight. And tonight's show is going to be taken over by my newest co-host.
He's taking the shit.
Which is John. He'll be back momentarily.
And he's taking the shit.
But tonight is going to be an interesting show. We're going to discuss what men want. And we're also going to talk about, is chivalry dead? But right now, I'm going to... You want to introduce yourself, man? I'm going to introduce my co-host to the right of me.
Good evening. What's up, everybody? It's John J. Esquire. What's going on? You want me to come all the way over there?
Yeah, man, you be acting like you don't know what time it is. You know, he be trying to act. Exactly.
He tried. He tried to sneak in off of the toilet.
Love boning and curling.
You said what?
Love boning.
Hey, listen. When you got it, amen?
I'm just saying,
What's
I
up?
ain't
What's
mad.
What's going on, everybody? This is John, J. Esquire. So happy to be here once again. It's a blessing. Thank you very kindly.
And he's hosting. This is his hosting debut.
Yeah.
So I get to fall back and just be supportive.
Absolutely.
So tonight we have a special guest. Because it's his first time, we're gonna, go easy on him tonight. But I'm gonna allow him to introduce himself.
I am comedian Owen Funderburke III. How y'all doing out there? How y'all doing?
Right.
Yeah, I'm a comic. I've been doing comedy for 6 years. And because of comedy, I was able now to do a couple of movies, stage plays. Shout out to Lene Jordan for seeing the vision in my life and making it happen on that stage and in film. I'm a divorced person.
You advertising, man?
I'm a divorced person.
Meaning the brother is single.
Sounds like he's advertising.
Father, 4 wonderful kids and 3 grand boys and 1 on the way. So,
Congratulations.
Wait a minute.
yeah, I'm excited about that.
Just 1 minute.
And now, ladies, that you know he's available, the call-in number
What's up, Deborah?
is 855-493-6499. We're going to go ahead and get into our topic. So the question on the table is, what do y'all want? Men,
As far as
women, and your women or relationship.
Smart.
I got
very
I have a
smart.
poll. So I did a poll earlier in the group, and some of the responses were pretty interesting. Skinny Man says he wants clear communication, respect, emotional intimacy, sloppy toppy. He didn't say that. I just
bonus.
decided to add
great.
that. What else did he say? And a physical touch. Those were his. So it was interesting to hear people's different point of view in terms of what they wanted and what they needed. So I'm going to open the floor up to my men's and them. Let y'all answer that.
I think a thing that people are missing, that me getting a little older, that I realize that I like is mental stimulation.
Yes, absolutely.
I like a great conversation now. Like, I really like to be stimulated mentally, because everything else is, we all kind of come with a lot of the same package. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I agree.
But if you can get me with a great conversation, a great story, or you funny, you got me for a minute. You got my attention. You definitely have my attention for sure.
Can I tag that?
Sure.
Yeah.
So, Owen, being a comedian, what are the things you're looking for? And how does comedy have an impact on, I guess,
Can I say something real quick?
Sure.
Owen, you probably don't even know that you know me. I've been knowing you since I was a kid.
I didn't do
Come to your house as a kid. No.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
Stepfather.
Hold
Brian.
just 1 minute.
Yeah. He's married to Felicia.
All right.
We used to come to your house all the time. You know Lewis, Brian, Mitchell.
Yeah.
Lil Marvin.
Okay.
It's me. I've been
right,
knowing this
all
guy
right.
since I was like 6 years old. He didn't even know it.
No, man.
I ain't seen you in
John. Yeah.
years.
Yeah,
I
I
had
saw
to get
Mitch, Douglas, and
Boosie.
Brian.
Yeah,
Boosie.
Brian.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
let's get back to the show.
Small
Yeah.
world.
I had to say that before I.
That's why y'all had to
Yeah,
look,
can we
because
get back
when
to-
he said
I
he
mean, let's
knew
get
me,
back to
I was
Ed
like, did I
Fast.
do you wrong?
You know, so Owen,
No, you good. Always been a stand-up dude. So,
answer my
Y'all
question.
hear that?
Good to see
Always been a stand-up dude.
and now you're a stand-up comedian. Look at that.
Yeah,
huh?
man.
Stand up all the way. My man.
What's up, man?
Y'all good?
We,
Okay, all right.
Hey,
So let's bring it back.
Listen, if I'm gonna be running the show, I gotta do
I
the way I need to do it.
I'm trying to let
Break
you
the
take
ice.
the reins because you know I'm used to.
Are you really trying?
Yeah, I'm going to fall back and let y'all do y'all
All
thing.
right.
All show.
All
I'm just
right.
I'm gonna let y'all do y'all thing, but we're waiting. The
Welcome
floor
to
is
the
waiting for you to
men's
answer the question.
Intimate Connections.
okay. As far as me,
Yes.
the mind, the conversation is everything to me. If you have a great conversation, you can actually fall in love with great
Absolutely.
conversation.
Absolutely.
You actually can feel a different type of feel other than that physical part, I believe. So you hit that, man. Your parents raised you right.
Well, because it's more.
Took a lot though.
It's lasting when you have the mental connection.
Yeah.
Physical connection, sometimes it fades, you know what I mean? So you have to be able to sustain some other type of intimacy in order to stay connected. I think you made a great point about us getting older and our needs change. So, yeah, but I'm falling back.
And what's funny about that is the things that you never thought about become important to you. You know what I mean? Because now you're looking for a partner. You're not just looking for, you know, a girlfriend or for you a boyfriend or just a wife or husband. You're looking for a partner. You're looking for a connection, and that's the thing that's super rare these days is a connection. I probably ever like a real connection, like a bond that lasts. You know, because you gotta. I think that one of the things about relationships, even if it's a good one and it's got its bad spots, one thing we don't do is we don't reinvent. That's the thing that happens. That, you know, you think about most successful people in entertainment. Most of the time, they look at like a LL Cool J. Yeah, just reinvents. Right. You know what I'm saying? He's still LL Cool J, but now he's acting. Yeah. Then he goes back to what he does. Then he'll write a book. Then he'll teach you how to exercise. Then he might cook. He might do something. But that's how relationships should be. Right. If that's the thing that you really want, and that's something that you see lasting a mighty long time, you gotta keep reinventing it. You gotta reinvent it.
Yeah, and I think sometimes we are guilty of becoming comfortable or stagnant. Right. Exactly. I get it. And so you don't have to stay there. You have to find some ways to rekindle the flame.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What are some of the things how we can rekindle as men that flame?
I think as men, you all should be, I guess, a bit more open-minded.
The question is, where do us men fall off at? At what point do we fall off and you become uninterested or bored with us? Where do you think, generally speaking, where does a woman become, you know, where does it become monotonous for a woman?
Yeah. Routine. It's like if we're doing the same thing over and over again. I'm a person that likes to explore. So I think if I'm in a relationship with someone, I think we should always keep that communication open because, like I said, I like to try new things. But if my guy isn't open, then, yeah, I am going to lose interest. You know, if you're not even willing to hear me out on some of the things that I'm suggesting, I'm going to lose interest. I'm going to, at some point, stop talking because it's like it's falling on deaf ears. You know, when we are bringing up things that are of interest to us, don't look at it like we're nagging or something to that effect. Be open. Don't give me that look. Be open to receive it and vice versa, you know? Yeah.
For sure.
So,
I believe, you know, once my pastor told me, ask a lot of questions. Ask a lot of questions. And I think if you do that, you know, you can really get to know a person, especially when you start out dating again, you know. You just ask questions. Yeah. You know, it's the dinner part and the hanging out part, that's easy. But just to stimulate each other's mind, what's on that mind, what can make us work or whatever, that's the challenge. Because everybody may not be on the same page.
It's true.
You know.
And that's the thing, too, with a lot of relationships is that it's two people bonding together that may be growing at separate times.
Right.
Or both growing, period. Like we're both rising up, but the question is, are we meeting somewhere in the middle while we're growing?
Right.
And that's the thing that's a big challenge. Because you can, some of the complaining will just come from both people growing separate. So the question is, do we even recognize it? That's number one. Number one is, do we still want it?
Right.
Do we recognize it, and what are we gonna do to get it back? So that's definitely a big part of it. Is we'll look at it like we're not growing. No, we're both growing. The relationship is just staying in one spot because the relationship is a foundation. The question is, what you gonna do with that foundation? You know, you can stay in the same house for 30 years, but are you gonna keep the same furniture for 30 years, or you gonna remodel at some point?
That's a great point.
You know.
Yeah, I think you have to be willing. Again, it goes back to the conversation part. You can both be growing, but if there's no conversation about the direction that you're going into, how are you going to maintain it? How are you going to build on top of that foundation? If I'm going in direction A and he's going in direction B, we're still not connecting in terms of where we want the team to go. Because I think that's another thing. I think when you get into relationships, you have to understand that it's no longer just about you. It's the team. So everything you do has to be in the best interest of the team. And are we having those conversations?
I think we are. I mean, me personally, I like to talk about your past, who you dealt with, who you had a bad experience with, what happened. You know, those type of things, because, the number one thing that stands out with me, your relationship with your dad. You know, as men, we not trying to be anybody's father. We trying to, like,
Right.
you know, I'm trying to be your man. You know, not here to raise you the way a man's supposed to raise his daughter, whatever. I have a daughter, so she definitely models after me in so many different ways. You know, so.
I love that. I think that's a great point, because I think a lot of times when we're out in search of, I think we're looking for, as you pointed out, that father or mother figure. I don't want to, at 55, have to raise anyone. So, yeah, I would have a problem with maybe the mama's boy, because I'm not looking to mother. Not at this stage in life. And even in terms of dating, I think my concept on dating, I think that, and you know, I told you this when we talked before, I said it's a little different now for me. So I'm not as pressed. My end game isn't necessarily marriage, because I've been married for a very long time, and I'm still kind of getting to know the person I am outside of that long-term relationship. I want to, I'd like to meet somebody and, you know, we click, but it takes time. So my thing is, I'm not in a rush. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's such a vast thing, because everybody's got something that they want and something that they need.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think the thing is, can somebody be what you didn't know you needed? That's a great thing. Like when you get somebody that's what you didn't know you needed.
Right.
And that's so rare, because you can walk into a situation like, oh, you know, we'll date, we'll have a good time, whatever have you. And the next thing you know, this person is you didn't even expect. So,
yeah.
But it's dating and relationships is just such a, like I said, such a vast subject.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
But did you all fully answer the question? I mean, what do you really want? Oh, God. I'm going to leave it to
I
you.
want something different.
How so?
Daily. Meaning, what I mean is, like, I'm constantly adding to that list. So, and it can also change. So I could tell you 5 things today and then 5 different things tomorrow.
I get that.
I think at some point, you know what? It's funny though. I honestly just wrote down the other day. At some point, I do desire a wife. You know, I'm looking, well, not looking, but I would love her to be my best friend.
Yeah.
I want a connection that I want to like you, even when love is a questionable thing.
I like that.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, cause you gotta like the person too. You can love somebody all day, but still not like them. You know what I'm saying? And I want to be able to like her and know that no matter what, like we 10 toes down with this thing.
Right.
But that takes a lot of building. And
It
that
does.
takes a
It
lot
does.
of understanding and a lot of growing. You know,
Patience.
that's the maturation of
Yeah.
a relationship. So, but both have to be willing to get to that point.
Yeah.
So, and you know, we live in an era of self-discovery now. So, the people involved are much more important than the relationship itself. You know what I mean? We're all kind of like, who am I? What do I need?
It's
I've
an
done this so
awakening.
many
Yes,
times, and
yes.
I've done that so many times.
Yes.
The time for me is now. So you don't have too many people really looking to delve deep into it. It's like, well, I'm midway through, so if it's not working now, it probably won't. You know.
Now, why do you think that is? Do you think that
Self.
Yeah, that's
It's all self.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just
yeah.
not to cut you off, but it's self. It's a lot of just, this isn't working for me,
right.
because it's not fulfilling the shallow needs right now. You know, I'm looking to have fun. I'm looking to just go out, and this is too much work. This isn't working for like self. This isn't this
Just
relationship
because you want it to be
is
easy,
so much
or-
for because but most people get into it with their own motives.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not getting into it like, I may like you because you cook, you're independent and all of that.
Got
That takes the
money,
right.
you got
That takes
a
the
little bread.
load. That takes the load off of me.
Right.
Not getting into it just because I think you're an amazing person, whether you have those things or not.
Right.
So that's self. That's
Yeah.
a self relationship. You feel what I'm saying? So it's easy to walk away when it really was for you.
Right.
You know, for you to live the dream, or for you to live a fantasy, because there are a lot of people, like I know people who literally, I call it a your name here relationship, where like they treat everybody the same. It's just, all you got to do is, when that don't work, they erase that one name, write a
Slide
new one
another
in.
one
It's
in.
the same exact, it's the same situation, it's the same rotation of things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It never changes. It's not built on this person being for me to my core. It's like, this needs to fulfill my needs.
Right.
Whether this person wants it to be or not. I have a vision of what I want, and I need someone to fulfill it.
Do you
Nick, heat. It's hot.
Do you, yeah, he got the heat on. Hell.
Over here melting and shit.
So on cremation.
I thought it was Owen, you know. It's hot. Jesus.
I mean, it was me.
I'm saying you was heating up over there, so it was the heat was radiating over there. Okay.
Do we show, as men, do we show both hands when we meet somebody? I mean, I think there's a time where we should hold back before we,
Before you dive all
dive
in.
in, because a lot of women got agenda, man. It's just, us
Yeah.
men, we
Really?
they always say we have the agenda, but they got it too.
Yeah.
I'm not going to
They really
disagree
have
with that. I agree. I think I'm always an
Jackie
open
look like
book.
she had a bunch of agendas.
Yeah, see, he throwing shade already.
I don't feel like that about her.
But yeah,
I don't think
most
that about
people
her.
don't.
I don't see that in
don't.
her.
I don't. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm gonna let you have the floor. You
I
get
could be
it.
fantastically wrong, but I don't see that.
Right.
Just,
See, the
just
nice
whatever.
ones, she's really nice. The really nice ones are really the most, I guess, dangerous ones. I guess.
I
in my
guess I
experience.
could kind of. I don't know if I'm gonna go with that 100%, but
I mean,
I
danger
could
is not
kinda see
always
it.
bad.
Right? Yeah. Right.
You
I'm
should
gonna
see her
say
face,
with me,
y'all.
I'm hot as hell. I think my hot flash is on 100
Yeah,
right now. With me, I'm more
You the
of
one
an
wanted me
open
to sit
book.
beside you.
Well, Nick had the arrangement. I was trying to do you a favor. I look good next to you.
See what I'm saying?
But I'm always an open book. And I think the reason I'm an open book is I want the same in return, but you don't always get that. But at this age, I just don't have time to water down who I am and try to be something that I'm not, because it's fucking exhausting. And so I'm not going to do that. What you see is what you get. And you either like it or you don't. I'm comfortable enough to be able to say, hey, I don't really have to deal with this. So I think it depends on the individual. I will say both sides have games. So I guess you have to decide what you are willing to deal with. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't feel like I have to sell myself in terms of making someone realize that, yeah, I am a catch. I don't feel like I have to do all that. Either you're going to see it or you're not. That's my mindset.
Nothing more to prove.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I feel.
That's how you feel.
Yeah.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer for 500.
Now let me ask you, Owen. Why do you think it gets monotonous for men in a relationship? What is it? What do you think the general consensus would say? This is where I think women fall off in relationships.
Man, let me say.
Think on it.
Because, people watching, I want to make sure I say the right thing. I think women may fall off if the man is over aggressive. I mean, it's been told to me, slow down,
In terms of what?
not, just you doing too much.
Okay.
But me doing too much is my personality. If I like you and I'm spending time with you, I'm going to give you my best.
Okay.
And that's where I fall. I feel I fall into the problems of doing too much because I want to give her my best. So if I sometimes I get confused because I'm not abusive. I'm not abusive. I will respect you. I still open the door for you. I will still do things because Sherry isn't dead. I believe that.
Yeah, and I that was another topic, but go ahead. I like that you're leading into
Now let me
that.
ask you this: when you hear those things, you're doing too much. Like, say she's like, I really like you, and I think you do great things, but I think you're doing too much. Do you look at that as an opportunity to kind of modify how you're doing things? Like, maybe cut back on certain things, or maybe just,
I think I cut back.
Kind of let it be more natural.
I do pull back. I do pull back. Pull back enough where I get my thoughts together.
Okay.
And then it goes back to the questioning. It goes back to me asking her, why you feel that way? If you're in a relationship, we should be in it to win it.
Yeah.
From the giddy up, right? I always say if a man date a woman for at least 4 months, he should know what he wants. 4 months, you should know what you want. If not, why are you stringing along? I never understood how people can be in a relationship for years and never marry, or the man never even asked the question to marry them.
Right.
And a woman allow that. I can't figure it out.
I think everybody's needs are different. In terms of, like you say, you give too much. I think sometimes perhaps you're giving too much maybe to the wrong person, and they're not ready to receive all that you have to offer.
Maybe you're giving too much of the wrong things.
That could be too.
Are you giving too much of things, or are you oversaturating the situation with self? Like, I want to give you so much of me that you're just gonna just be soaked in my essence of love for you. You see what I'm saying? Like, you get what I'm saying?
I get that.
Like, are you overwhelming her
too,
with the like just overwhelming her with Owen?
No,
just in general. Is there a time where you're like
overkill?
Yeah.
I don't want to. I want to have balance.
Okay.
I want to give a me and the wallet. Me and the wallet. Sometimes it works hand in hand. But also we as men, we want to be taken care of.
Absolutely.
We want to be wined and dined.
Right. Absolutely.
At the end of the day, I mean, I find myself if if I meet a woman now, it's like, can you afford me? 'Cause I definitely can afford you.
My question,
And women
would
ain't
always-
ready for that.
My question would always be, what do you add
That's
to
a general.
me?
But
But men, we don't ask that enough. What do you add to me?
Yeah.
Like if I know I have a house, car, my kids are taken care of if I have kids. I know how to cook.
Right,
I know how to
right.
balance my checkbook. I know what my bills look like. I pay them. I know that I can take you out. I know not only that, I know that I can introduce you to some new things.
Right.
I can,
Right.
take you places or just something spiritually. I can open you up to different things that could change your life,
Absolutely.
change your energy, change your frequency. I hate the word energy because it's so popular. But what are you gonna add to me?
But are you asking this question? Because I
should-
have to
I
go
think
back
you
to the
should.
beginning
Yeah.
of the conversation. It's like
What, the
when
beginning
you
of Adam and Eve?
No,
What
I'm
you saying?
saying or Lilith. I mean,
In the beginning.
so
The
my
beginning.
point is,
Okay,
we go into these situationships or relationships, whatever you want to categorize it as. But are we just going in it to feel good? Are we having the necessary conversations? Because
depends
why
on your
waste time
awareness, too.
if you two aren't on the same frequency?
I think it depends on your awareness of your situation.
Yeah.
Like I said, do you know you're giving too much?
Right,
Do
right.
you know you're not giving enough?
Right.
Do you know what it is that could make it work? Do you even know that what your worth is?
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
And that's
if you
key.
don't know what your worth is, you can't ask a person what they're adding to you because you're not even gonna realize that someone needs to add to you.
Right.
You're just gonna realize that, hey, this is a relationship. I like you, you like me. Let's see where
Right,
it goes.
right.
But if there's nothing to add, and you don't realize that you both are just gonna be going around
You're
in
going
a
in
circle.
I
circles.
think I know my worth. Believe that. You
Yeah.
know, I'm a hard-working brother. You know, I can make things happen, and I'm grateful to God that I have vision. He has given me vision. You know, and I walk in it. You know, and some women that we date or I have dated, they have to understand when a man work hard, when the man is focused. And he's with you. He's not doing it for himself.
Right,
He's
right.
doing it for both of you guys. You may not like the way he does it, but at the end of the day, when the smoke is cleared, you both gonna reap. You're gonna reap the benefit.
And I think that's a great point. But I'm going to add to that by saying if the two of you are, you select the right person. I'm going to say that because I think sometimes
Whatever
we
that
think
is.
that, right. But it goes back to value. When you know your self-worth and you meet somebody and you know there are certain things that about this situation that you're not really comfortable with, but you got your mouth shut instead of communicating. I think that when you put all this effort into someone that deep down you know isn't the person, I don't know if it's because you fear being alone or you want to keep trying. It's like you're beating your head up against a brick wall, but they're not able to accept what you're willing to give. And I think that goes back to getting to know. I think when we're dating these people, are we really taking the time to get to know them? Are we getting to know what we want in the relationship, so we're going to pour into what we want instead of understanding the other party's needs?
Again, that comes with a little word we like to call growth.
Right, I agree.
And that's the thing is with this new sensation called self.
Right.
Most people are not digging into that question,
Yeah.
or those questions, because it's a self-gratifying thing to be in a relationship now. There are people who don't care about the marriage; they just like the wedding.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, that's dope.
And that's
That's
one
the
of the
second
things.
time I heard that today.
Yeah.
But that's a good point. And being honest, when I first got married, I wasn't into the show of the wedding. I'm simple. I'm simple even now. I'm like, listen, let's go down to the courthouse. We could take that money, buy a house, bam.
It's not
But
most
a
people.
lot of
already
people
have a
don't.
house.
Most people are not like that though.
But I understand that.
I know a guy that just got married. Married his girl or whatever. And I've been married before. It was very brief when I was married, and it was so brief that I don't have a lot of advice to give on marriage.
Okay.
But the one thing I did tell him was, don't forget to focus on what happens after the wedding.
Right.
What are you gonna do after the honeymoon? You know what I mean? Those are cute. Those are easy to show up
funny,
to, because that's when it begins.
Absolutely.
yeah.
It's almost like reverse grief. When you go to a funeral, the person is still there, right? So there's some physicality there and all of that. It's after the burial that it really starts.
Absolutely.
And that's what it's like with a marriage. You know, that's what it's like when a baby is born. It's beautiful and it's so cool in the hospital. But that first night home is when you like, this is
Reality
real.
sets in.
It's
You know
real.
what I'm
It's
saying?
real.
So
Exactly.
that's the question of, you know, what are you gonna do when it becomes real?
And I give the advice, especially when I'm working. They like, can you move me up? First class is our honeymoon. I said, no, but just I'll give you this advice. Congratulations. And remember, it's the day after that counts. And the day after that, and the day after that, and the day after that. You know, I was married for 24 years. We're divorced now. And people are like, how you can be married so long and then divorced like that? Things happen.
Things happen.
Things happen. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I'm happy that my ex-wife and I can communicate.
That's good.
You know, we may not be together, but we still have a common denominator with children and now grandchildren. You know, so our energy level towards each other plays a major role on their lives. You know, like grandma and granddad, they cool cats. You know,
Y'all this just came. God just put this on my heart. Do you believe that titles and responsibilities change the dynamic of a relationship?
it can if you don't know anything about it. Now, I always say, when you become married, you're one, right?
Absolutely.
That's what they say, you one. But I believe also that God gives us individual responsibilities. Now, the problem that many people that's married and not married anymore, what they ran into was, because she's not doing her part, he cuts out. If he's not, then she cuts out. You know, if we let, you know, God be God in your marriage,
That's a
but
hard
she ain't
thing.
doing what she doing. Don't stop doing what you supposed
Right.
to do.
Right.
I hear if you rolling, he gonna deal with her or vice versa.
I
So
think
we have to be prepared for that.
for sure, and I also think that what's funny with that is like you see a lot of people getting along better after the breakup,
Yeah.
after the divorce. I know for me and my ex-wife, we're pretty cool. We all right. We have our ups and downs. Her mom passed away last month, and the minute she called me, first thing I said was, "I can be there."
Want to get
in the
back
morning."
together?
No,
Oh, you ain't say that.
No,
I thought.
no.
I thought.
no. And she would say it just like I said it. No.
Right.
The first thing she called me and she said, "Hey, my mom just died," and I said, "I can." First of all, we share a daughter together. She's about to be 15, and I said, "Where's Jayla?" And she's like, "She's at the house." And I said, "Okay, where are your kids at?" And she's like, "They're home. I haven't told them yet." I said, "Okay, I can be there tonight with you if you want to tell them tonight."
Right.
And she was like, "I'll let you know." And I said,
Right.
"Or you can go home and it's really late, and I can be there tomorrow morning and I'll come get them for you.
Okay.
I'll come get mine because that's mine, and then the other ones can stay with while y'all figure this thing out, because the last thing you need is that responsibility.
That's true.
While you trying to plan a funeral." So I was there from the moment she found out till the moment her mother went into the ground.
Okay.
And it felt, as sad as it was, it felt good to me to be able to be there for somebody that in my life to some degree I appreciate.
Right.
She may not
Right.
be my, top person and I'm not hers, but when that was happening, all that went out the window. Because when my dad died, she came. I remember when we had the viewing, people were giving cards and all that. She was the person that was holding everything for us. She was
Okay.
making sure that people moved out the way and politely and making sure my other kids were good. You know what I
Right.
mean? And I appreciated that. She snuck into the funeral. She wasn't supposed to be at the funeral, but it's all good.
Right.
Speaking to a
That's what I was gonna ask.
We'll talk about
too.
that. We'll talk about that off air.
I mean, I need to know because there's some funerals that I may not be invited to. I need to know how to,
How to do
sneak
it.
up in there.
Listen,
I put on disguise.
we'll
Lord.
talk
Act
after.
like a preacher.
If that's an after the show conversation. But I think after the breakup, I think that
I'll tell you. I'll
should.
take what is a woman for $300.
I think you should be able to have at the very least, a cordial relationship. I mean, I've been married. Let's see, we've been together 28 years, married, and we're cordial. The breakup
Y'all were
wasn't.
married for 28 years? Okay.
The breakup was a bit hard, yeah.
You
But
almost did a
now,
whole mortgage. You
at
almost-
this, say what?
You almost did a whole mortgage in the marriage.
Damn near, right?
30 years.
But where we are now, we can be cordial and supportive of one another, and I think that that's important. We don't share children together, but I came into his children's life when they were young, and vice versa. So I still have good relationships with them. You know what I mean? Because that's almost a lifetime. That's most of my lifetime in the marriage, So it's important to maintain a good relationship after. It didn't work. So you move on and you be supportive as best you can. That's it. Yeah.
All right.
And that's why I say, even in terms of dating, I don't have to rush out to be in a relationship. If later on down the line something develops, it's cool. But it's not the space that I'm in right now. I'm okay. Yeah.
What about the opportunist spouses or significant others in relationships?
Again, it goes back to that self thing.
Right.
It goes back to that self thing. I had a homegirl, and I dated her a long time ago. We were friends. She was always talking about how much she wanted a husband and another kid and all of that. And I said, I think that's amazing, but why?
Why? Yeah.
Why? Look at how well you're established. Your kids are getting older. Why do you feel the need for that? And there's no wrong answer. I mean,
Right.
that's your thing. She just was like, I just want to do that again. And she was, every guy she would date after that, she was dating immediately with the potential of
She
him
was
being a
sizing
husband.
them
Yes.
up. Yeah.
And then she got a guy who she really liked. He got her pregnant, did all of that stuff, and they didn't even get married. And she broke up with him, and she said to me, this is the first time in my life I ever realized I am enough.
Right.
And I used to tell her all the time, you are enough. Why don't you take a little more time to get to know who you are?
Yeah.
Get to know who you are as a woman with kids who are older now, because your kids are a lot more independent. They don't need you for much. You kind of come home, be on cruise control because they're teenagers. And then you figure it out from there, because I used to tell her, you may get to a point you're like, nah, these the ones I have, this is just fine. I'm pretty good. I can date, or the husband come, he come. But she was so adamant, and sometimes God will just he'll step back and allow you to get what you want. It's be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it.
Exactly. I think that's all. That's why I like take my time.
But that's usually when you get it. I think that's when you receive it through the ego.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm
It's
saying? When
ego-based,
it's
yes.
when it's like, I want this, I don't care what it is. And
Yeah.
God, at some point, God will be like, okay,
I'm gonna give you what you asked
cool.
for.
I'm gonna let you have that, and I'm gonna step back. I'll be back when you figure it out for real. When you really want what I got for you, I'll be back.
Right.
But if you're dating, you should date with a purpose.
Or should you?
I think
Yeah.
that.
I mean, look, I don't. Well,
I think everybody has a
I'm
purpose.
50-something years old.
50 something. You trying to dress it up, man.
I
Say
got
what
you.
it is.
So time is like the clock now. We on the clock. So it's like
But if you were 21,
we-
would you be dating for a purpose? What would your purpose be?
You got
Yeah, exactly. He's you got
21.
Right, exactly.
21. You
21-year-old Owen.
you fulfilling your royal oats.
Oh,
Exactly.
God.
So that is the purpose, though.
Right.
So that's why I said you
It's-
always
it's
dating
still
with a
the
purpose.
purpose.
Right,
Yeah.
but at 21, you like, okay, I'm gonna see what's out here. Mm-hmm. Right. At 50 something, you're not saying no longer I'm gonna see what's out here. You know what's out
Let
here.
me pose a question to both of you.
We got a caller.
Oh, we got a
Oh,
caller.
shucks.
I got a
Oh,
question.
you done brought the calls in. That last statement. All right. You're live on the Intimate Connections. Who am I speaking with? Who?
Who?
I guess they're.
I can hear him.
They always get
Caller, you can speak now.
bootleg phone.
Caller.
You done made them
I can
nervous.
hear her talking.
Oh, and done made them nervous. That's them calling back.
Janky phone system. ladies
I'm
and
just
gentlemen.
saying, man. That's your other line. What you got going on? That's the
Yeah,
private
you got bill
line.
collector calling.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
let me.
so-
I have a question for the two of you, and I'm gonna start
Okay.
with the lady first. If you could go back, if you could be who you are right now, right, and you could go back to how long ago did you get married?
I got married. I was 25.
25-year-old Jackie. You can go back to the night before you got married. What would you tell her? What
Don't
would
do it.
advice? And why?
When I got married, I lost my mom like a couple of months prior.
Oh, sorry.
And I felt like I was spiraling out of control. I mean, I knew he loved me. But at that
Hold
time,
that call real quick.
Intimate Connections. Who am I speaking with?
Hold on, it goes away. They can hear you now.
Hold on.
Okay.
Let's finish this
All right.
real quick.
We ready? They on?
Yeah, you've been
Okay. Intimate Connections. Who am I speaking with?
Hi, this is Wesman.
Hi, Wesley. How are you?
Hello.
I have a question
Sure.
for all of you.
Yes.
What do you all think about online dating?
So can I take
Nothing,
that
that's
one
cool.
first? So let me just give some background. I'm gonna do the Cliff Notes version. So before online dating, I was a romance counselor for a Together dating service. I loved the concept because at that point we did the background check. So especially in regards to women, they could feel safe when going out with a date if I matched them up with someone. But then when eHarmony, because they modeled their site after Together, I think now I look at it different. I don't think I could personally do the online dating because I want to meet face to face, but I know a lot of people that have had success with it. So for those that are successful, more power to you, but I don't think I'm open-minded enough to do it.
Understandable.
Owen?
I have done online dating. It can be a positive situation, and then it also can be a negative situation. I don't, it's basically you texting back and forth.
Okay.
It's the same thing you can do on the phone. I just give my number, call me, and we'll see what's up. Have I been You can get catfish.
Right, that part.
You looking at filters all day. You're like, this is not you.
Surprise, nigga.
Right, exactly.
You want to be careful. You want to be careful and mindful with that.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
it really is nothing wrong with it. You just got to ask a lot of questions.
And hope that they
And,
tell you the
and
truth.
hope they tell you the truth. And take notes because you online, Act like you in the class.
Yes.
Taking notes.
Yes.
So when you meet that person, you can go over your stuff that you wrote down, You're like, but you told me.
And they don't remember
They
that
don't
they told
remember.
you.
Yeah, exactly. So you,
Correct. So,
John?
have you ever did a video face-to-face time with them?
I love FaceTime. But I notice a lot of y'all ladies, you know, you got bonnets on your head, and it's not a good time. No, that is the best time.
Let me say this: if someone
That's your
calls
best time.
before 8:00 in the morning, you gonna get what you gonna get.
Exactly.
That's the bottom line.
And I'm cool with
and you
that.
gotta be comfortable enough in your skin to be okay with that. So,
FaceTime is the best time.
Yeah, because if you
I
coming
don't
on,
like
you come on there
I'm
looking
getting
crazy.
used to it, but I don't really
it's
like
a good
it.
thing because I know how you're gonna look from looking at your pictures that you post on there. If it's you know, you a beautiful person.
If
but
they call back,
let's see the flaws. Let's see the stuff that you don't want us to see.
If they call
and
back,
then you make that decision.
They call back after seeing you in the bonnet, then y'all might could work on a little something.
Hey, this is the real me. You know.
Right,
you
right.
Get,
I'm fair.
I appreciate you calling
Thank
in,
you so
Wesley.
much for calling in.
Thank you.
All right then. Y'all
Have a good night.
You do the same. You do the same. Well, we finally got that right? We worked that phone call out. Amen.
Right.
So once again, back to 25-year-old.
25-year-old me, I would have said wait, because I was in a different headspace and I really wasn't ready for marriage. I was grieving, and I felt like I was spiraling out of control, so I needed something to cling to. So that was probably more so why I got married.
Grief would do that too.
Oh my God, yeah.
That's a whole nother.
It is, yeah. It definitely is.
Owen, how old were you when you got married?
I was 26 years old.
Okay. 50-something-year-old Owen gets to go back and talk to 26-year-old Owen the night before the wedding. It could be the day or the night. Let's say you in the room, you getting the tuck on. You know everybody got to do the mirror thing.
Right.
You talk to yourself through your eyes. You know what I'm saying? What would you say to him?
I would say, look, man.
I'm sorry. You're live with Intimate Connections. Who am I speaking with?
Raymond Jones.
Raymond Jones. Good
Raymond
evening.
Jones, how you
good
doing,
brother?
man?
I'm doing good, Owen. What's up, my brother?
What's up, Ray?
I'm good. You remember me, right?
Yeah, I think we worked together, right?
Yeah.
Amtrak. Yeah. What's up, man?
I'm good, man.
I don't owe you no money, do I?
They done tracked you down, man.
God paid it for you.
You have a question?
God paid it for you. Yeah. I just heard y'all talking a few things, and it's like about a couple regrets. I'm 32 right now, and I'm not married. You know, I'm just working for the airline most of my younger life. I've just been traveling, meeting women, just hitting up different girls in different cities, and just getting older. I'm looking back and saying, like, thinking about the ones that got away. Y'all got any thoughts on that?
So you say you were dating women in different zip codes, right?
Yeah, when I was younger.
When you were
and
younger.
Just looking back right now.
And you're 32 right now, right?
You're still in the process.
Yeah.
Looking back,
Man, you
what
still
you looking back
the
to last
prime.
year?
Exactly. Yes, the last 6
What are you
months.
looking back to?
I'm just saying, you're
What?
still in your prime.
What?
Still in your prime, man.
What you need to be doing is looking forward at how
Looking
much you're going to
forward.
regret if you don't get it all out now.
Right.
That's what you need to be doing.
Exactly.
You're 32, keep on plugging, brother. Keep on plugging. If the plugging is still can stick in the socket, you plug it in. You plug it in.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Raymond. What's his name? Raymond Jones. Listen, bro. You just called in just because you know good and goddamn well
still plugging.
that you gonna still be plugging no matter what the advice is. All you should have said was, "Hey, I just want y'all to know I'm still doing my thing." Owen, shout outs to you. I'm gonna plug. 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 I'm gonna plug.
Yeah, thank you.
Keep plugging.
Keep plugging.
That's right.
Keep on plugging.
Keep plugging.
My man, get it. Listen, tomorrow get the tattoo. Keep on plugging. and when you get married,
T-shirts made. We about
hashtag keep on plugging. Call yourself the plug.
Damn,
I got
did
you. I
say
got
that?
All right, you be cool like you be cool, brother. All right,
Thanks for that advice.
all right, man.
All right.
Thanks, Ray.
All
Hey,
right,
Ray, text me your number. Inbox me your number, bro. So I keep an eye on you. Man.
I will.
Right.
Ray, keep on plugging. That's all I need to tell you. Keep on doing what you're doing, like you do what you do when you do what you do, brother.
Oh Lord, you
I
got another
think
call.
Owen
here?
tried going to plug-in tour with you, bro.
It sounds like it because he got excited. Owen raised
Nah,
up. He
I was-
raised up in that
Nah,
chair like,
I wanna
oh,
make
he
sure he
plugging.
good,
Wait a minute.
man. I mean,
Wait a
I'm like,
minute.
Ray.
He like,
come on,
yeah,
bro.
I've realized at 27 that, you know, I don't have much time left. What?
But that's how
You're
Owen
nine.
sounded. Like
Get
he
outta
ought to
here.
be working on the purpose. Like,
No.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not
Okay.
me.
We're gonna get back
when
to
I
that.
was-
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Owen, 26, wedding day, tuxedo on.
tough.
Listen, here's the thing. Everybody's
Nervous
left out
and
the room,
Mm-hmm.
but you and younger you, and then what would you walk up to young Owen and say?
You sure you want to do this? It's big responsibility. You, it's no longer about you. It's all about her. Basically, you become the provider. You know, safe haven for her. Can you handle all that? Leading her to God.
This is good.
You know, walking with her when she don't feel like being walked.
Now,
Tough.
let me ask you
there's
this
a
one.
now.
I mean,
No.
I
Listen.
thought you said he wasn't gonna put no pressure on me.
In hindsight, would 25-year-old Jackie listen to this Jackie?
Yeah, because no one had asked me that at that time. So
You think
definitely.
you think in some kind of way you were waiting for that?
I was waiting for that.
For somebody to help you stop the train.
Yeah.
All right. Owen, do you think 26-year-old Owen would have listened to Owen now?
Yeah, I think he would have, because all kinds of things happened on my wedding day, that month that led up to it. So it was, and I began to like, should this be happening?
You felt like it was
You
signs?
got signs.
Yeah, you know, and but we did it. You know, and people always say, well, I had the turn. No, I have 4 wonderful kids
Yeah.
that develop out of that marriage. So there's no regrets. You know, should we what I wanted to be till death do us part, of course. You know, but at the end of the day, anything can happen and can turn away. But
Absolutely.
the most important is that you try to go back to where you were in the beginning, and that was friends. You know?
I think if I had a chance to go back to 22-year-old me on the wedding day, I don't think I would have stopped it, because it helped build a part of my foundation. I think that what I would have given the advice of is, I would have probably said 2 things. Number one, you and I both know this isn't gonna last.
Yeah.
You, me, and her, we all know what this is. And number 2, but while you're in it, be in it.
Yeah.
Make this about y'all as much as possible. And I only say that because
Yeah, the Hollywood wedding. Was that a Hollywood
something
wedding?
like that. Yeah. So what I'm
Crazy. You're so crazy.
you know, while the inevitable would have had to happen in order for other things to happen for both of us, I think that it still could have helped us both establish what we would have both wanted moving forward from other people. Because I know that most of the relationships that I got in after that was based off of I was running from the trauma of the divorce, you know, and everything that came with it. So I think that's all. And I think younger me would just look at me now and be like, I have a beard in the future?
Okay.
That's
Man, I had the
How
beard
many
since I
kids?
was 16.
Oh, wow.
But I would be asking, like, how many kids? Am I rich? Am I famous?
You be asking all those questions.
Yeah. I'd be like, never mind the wedding. That can wait. What kind of car I'm driving?
Right.
So I
right,
would have
that
probably
kinda-
been that kind of
yeah.
kid. I was like that. But I mean, it's amazing what you know later on, and it always just hits you one day. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You're like,
Like an aha moment.
yeah. You're like, ooh.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know, because my ex-wife has been grieving so much, like she talks to me the most. And again, it's not like in a, you know, any kind of way other than that, listen, I appreciate you being here. And because she knows that I went through that. My dad was my best friend. Her mom was her best friend.
Okay.
So that's how we relate. Nothing else.
Right.
We don't. I can't tell you nothing about what she watching on TV or nothing. But one thing we did get to do the other night was actually talk about the marriage and what had we never talked about it. We always ran from the subject of it, and if we talked about it, it was more about pointing fingers.
Did you talk about getting back together?
Right.
Absolutely not. But what we did talk about was
quick.
what each one of us wants from a partner moving forward.
Right.
And we're friends enough. Let me tell you something. If she found a guy that she really loved and they got
gotta
married,
go through you though.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I'm coming to their wedding. I'm gonna be super.
Rightfully
when she
so.
had her son, remember I had the little boy with me last
Yeah.
time. When she had him, I sent a baby shower gift. Whenever she break up with a guy or the guy was having problems with her, he would call me. Whoever she dated and be like, hey, look, I know y'all cool. Every dude she dated, but every woman I dated was the exact, it's right there, was the exact, it was the same thing to both of us.
That's that 55-year-old.
26-year-old you wouldn't have to keep.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But
55,
yeah, so,
woo.
yeah, so I think that for me it was just it's been about owning up to my contribution
Right.
to the good things and the bad things in that marriage, as opposed to us just both being like, look, you did this, no, you did this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's more
And
like,
I think that's a conversation that has to be had. Would you say because that's been some time ago. How long did it take you to heal from that?
honestly, I never healed.
Okay.
In the sense of, and it wasn't her. It wasn't that I wasn't healed from her.
Right.
It was just that was such a fast and traumatic thing for the both of us.
Yeah.
That we never got a chance to grow into relationships. It was kind of like, okay, this ended. It hurt. Didn't feel good. Everybody was in it. I got to figure out a way to feel better. I got to figure out a way to move on and show myself more than anything that I can make it without you.
Right.
And that doesn't work. And then you go into it, the mindset on the next thing.
That's so
and you
true.
don't even realize you're running from,
yourself.
Yourself and the trauma of it. And for something about this situation, because her mom was so big on marriage and instrumental in a lot of our relationship at that time, and my dad, it removed the elephants from the room to actually be like, okay, listen,
right,
let's at least talk this out so you're free, I'm free, and when you go do your next thing, you got a better understanding. Whatever's going to be with me, I got a better understanding of me, what I want, what I bring, what I add, what I need, and all of those other things, because 22 years old.
That's a lot.
And at that time, she was pregnant, and we got married. And on our 5th month anniversary, my daughter was born.
Okay.
And all of this, I was a well-established dad before I was 25. So while you all were getting married at 25, I was a dad and had already been married at 25.
Yeah.
And, when you reach 20 anything and you feel like, hey, I didn't have a baby in high school, you think, like, I've accomplished something. I'm successful.
True, yeah.
But you don't even realize it. Like, my daughter will be 15 this year.
Wow.
And me and her mother grew up with her. Her mom was 20, just turned 20 when we had her, and I was 22.
But that's a special kind of relationship. Even thinking, because my son is 34, I was 22 when I had him, and everybody looks at us and they always say y'all act more like brother and sister than mother and son.
We don't.
Yeah.
We don't. But me and her mom. Even back then, I can remember us talking more about what we were going to be like as parents than we were as a couple. Like, we were like, okay, we're going to be like one thing about us. We always could agree we weren't going to see eye to eye on a lot of things.
Okay.
But one thing that we've always been is loyal to our daughter.
To the right.
Like,
yeah.
we neither one of us missed anything, and if we ever had, one was there.
Right.
You know what I mean? No graduate. We both sitting together at the graduations,
that's
and
beautiful.
You know,
That's
all
a
kinds of things.
beautiful
And it's
thing,
not for us. It's for our daughter, but it's
Right,
also
right.
for our peace too. But that was the one seed we planted that we do all right with.
Right.
I mean, there's no manual to being a parent, clearly,
Of course.
but
You make mistakes and you learn from them.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think that the
This
weird
old
thing
man
is
back.
the healing
Senior citizen back.
the healing
Right.
the healing is literally beginning for both of us as
Okay.
people. And one day I actually called her and I was like, listen, even before this happened, I don't know, God put it on my heart. I called her and I said, listen, for everything that I contributed to any pain or drama or trauma to your life at any time, I am so sorry. I can't. I even told her I can't keep walking around being mad at 20-year-old you
Right.
when you are 35.
Yeah.
I had 15 years to figure out how to not be mad at you.
Yeah.
And it just was more comfortable for us to be mad at each other. And she cried and she said, I feel free. Because I never knew if you felt bad for, any of your contributions to it. I never knew if
liberated her.
you felt
Yeah.
you felt okay. I didn't even know if you remembered this stuff. But I did, and she did the same thing. But the healing is now. And I think that no matter how far removed you are from things, sometimes you're not.
You're not.
Not always.
Yeah, and I think when you come out of any kind of relationship, you should definitely allow yourself time to heal.
Why is that? I hear that a lot because sometimes it may not be the man or the woman.
Well, I'm not saying that, but you just came through a breakup, and I think sometimes we don't realize how much baggage we take forward. So for me, it was about rediscovering who Jackie was, getting to know,
So if you lose a job, you get fired. You just give yourself a break before you go get another one. No,
is it the same?
you pick back up and
I
keep
don't-
riding.
It's not the same.
That's a different.
Yeah.
I see where you was going with it.
Right.
But that's a little different. That's that. But you listen. You don't cohabitate with your job.
Yeah.
You don't wake up in the morning with
Relationship
your job.
But
is
you
a
still
job.
carry it, even if you go to another job.
Relationship-
You got
but
fired.
that's a job that you
still,
sleep in
yeah.
the same bed with. You
Right,
eat with,
right.
You meet your goals with. You may produce a baby job. You feel what I'm saying?
Or
you
two.
produce 4 baby
right,
jobs.
exactly. So
Who've given
yeah.
you 3 grandbaby jobs. You
And
feel-
one on the way.
And one on the way. You see how that worked? But I'm pretty sure when you were divorcing, like, it's something about it unless you two completely
There's
hate
no
each other.
winners in divorce.
None.
True.
I never forget.
Yeah.
You know what my father told me? I said to him, because he went with me, and her mom went with her. How crazy is that, right? I said,
Your mom went with her.
no, her mom was with her, and my dad
was
was
with
with
you.
me, and both of them have passed.
Wow.
Right? So, I remember telling my dad, like, this, I thought this was going to feel better than it did. Like, I was like elated, like,
Yeah.
but it was still like, Dad, that really happened? And he looked at me and he said, son, no one actually gets married to get a
It's
divorce.
true. Yeah.
I told a Hyundai that because they wouldn't fix my engine. I said, we don't buy cars to buy engines later.
I get you, though. I got you.
This guy.
The same thing. It's the exact same thing. What in the
An oil change, yes. A tune-up, sure.
Right.
An engine, no.
Oh,
You don't
exactly.
buy a car to buy a new engine later. Out of my pocket, y'all fix that.
Yeah, so I think that that's a thing that we still have some of that,
Yeah.
that residue on us, and we got to really, really work at that. I don't know if it ever completely goes away, though. I don't think you get over it. I think you get through it.
You get through it. I think you find a way to. That aside, yeah, it's disappointing when it doesn't work, but you find a way to overcome it, to reinvent yourself.
I was gonna say, and what the beauty of it is, if you allow it to be,
Yeah.
it shapes the new you.
Exactly.
The question is, what is the new you?
Yeah.
Because I know I was running around. The main word I think about, if I think about myself at that time, is ego. I lived and loved in my ego.
Okay.
And I was told, my father would say, son, as long as you can keep plugging. Not even in the way, he wasn't, not in the marriage part, but when that was over, I
He was
plugged.
doing the Raymond.
I was Raymond in.
Raymond, look what you started, brother.
I was Raymond Jones.
Yeah.
I was Raymond Jones. And at some point, that becomes
It
the
gets
most.
old.
It's like,
Yeah.
I've already been in the socket like that.
Right. I think that's why for me it was so important
Almost
to just
crying
not.
like I'm plugging. But
It's not the same. It's not as fulfilling. Yeah.
Correct.
I think for me it was important that I didn't do any dating. I took like 2, maybe 2.5 years.
Off?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I'm
Was
serious.
that messed up psychologically?
It wasn't that. I didn't want to take that energy. I wasn't in a great space. So I didn't want to take that to someone else. And it was just all about me allowing myself to heal.
Did y'all read that from a book or you have a manual?
No, it was what I needed.
If it ends,
I don't know
I
what
gotta
everybody
get on-
else
I
does.
can't do nothing for 2 years.
But I think that
I think it was for me,
That's
though.
smart.
Yeah,
I think
it was
that's
for me.
smart. I don't know if that's manageable for most people.
And I get that.
But
yeah.
if you can find a way to do that,
Yeah.
I think that that's pretty smart. My dad in his latter years, my father had been married 4 times.
Really?
4
It's that
times.
song that did it. I'm in love. It's that song.
You know what?
No,
I
minus
said to
one,
him,
matter of
listen,
fact, yeah.
I said to him one day, like, Dad, stop trying to be the songs you're singing.
Right.
It's not you didn't even write all of
It
those.
was that love
you are an
minus one
interpreter.
that did it.
You are
my
an
God.
interpreter.
Somebody back.
You are an interpreter of songs.
But I
sir.
know a lot of panties got
listen,
thrown up on that stage.
But that wasn't even what he was looking for.
Yeah.
But at the end,
4 times.
but listen, at the end, he spent so much time figuring himself out.
Right.
He became he was always a good person, but he became a beautiful person.
Yeah.
He figured things out. He was moving in ways that he had never, ever moved as a man. He was able to think a lot freer than he'd ever thought. He was able to look at his kids different, his grandkids different. And when though it was untimely, we all are like, he didn't go out like.
You saw how he
was
lived.
happy.
You could appreciate how
he
he
was happy.
lived. Yeah.
At the end of his life, he
came and went.
I'm sure he would have loved to. Knowing my father, he would have came and went. That'll always be the dream for every man. Amen.
Yes.
Every
Yes.
man would love that, but he was good.
I think it's important to take that time to yourself. I mean, that's just my opinion. It worked for me. I love the space that I'm in now. But had I not did that, I might have would have been even more jacked up. Now, what I will say in that time frame, got something to say? Okay. My vibrator was getting a whole lot of work. Okay, I'm just saying.
Okay. I did not see that.
I know, but I'm just saying. Since we're in a sharing space.
Okay.
But yeah, it was just so important, and I started discovering things about myself that I had kind of forgot.
Like your
Not
vibrator.
orgasmic stuff.
Okay.
Well, maybe a little bit of that.
Okay.
But yeah,
The question is, did you actually know those parts?
I forgot some of those parts existed. Yeah, I think sometimes you lose part of who you are when you're in a long-term relationship.
And you know what it is too? At some point, you stop growing.
Yes,
So
and that's how I felt.
So say
yeah.
it started to kind of get weird at like 34.
John
Yeah.
has his
Stop
preacher
being
voice
at
on right
34.
Okay.
He has his preacher voice on.
Yeah.
He's in charge.
I'm just saying.
I love it though.
But you know, I think that at some point where you stop growing, you start growing again if you allow yourself.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
Amen.
Owen, let me ask you this: when the divorce was over, what was the first thing that you felt like you? What was the first thing you did? Did you self-reflect when the marriage was
freedom?
over?
No.
Don't we all think that? And then you get in, you like, oh,
Yeah, man.
This is
I
overrated.
actually
You're
got
right,
upset.
you know.
I was upset.
Okay.
Because at the hearing, my ex-wife had one of her girlfriends there.
Uh-oh.
And one of her girlfriends, first thing, once the judge, clink, you're free to go, you're free, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, we can go party. I said, whoa, party? I said, there's no winners here.
Right.
You know? I said, we don't get married to get a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
This is not Hollywood. This is what they do in Hollywood. You know? So it kind of, it took me a minute for all of it to sink in. You know, because, you know, I even, because I do comedy, I wrote a bit or a slogan I put in with my bit. There's life after divorce, and there's life during child support, because I was paying child support on the latter part. So you know, so it's not a good feeling, especially when you took care of your kids.
Right.
That's what I didn't understand.
You see how I'm looking at you, right?
You know, you took care of the baby.
You see how I'm looking at you?
Yeah, I know, right?
This is a guy
That's a
thing.
different show.
Yeah, exactly. And, I mean, it was
Yeah.
devastating, Jack.
Of course. Yeah.
But
You're like, wait, you want me to repay for a kid that I'm already paying for?
Right.
But to
And
make you all feel
half.
like you've done something, you're going to tell me how much I'm going to pay.
Yeah.
And all she kept saying, it's in the decree. It's in the decree is what, because you wanted it in there, in which it didn't have to be in there.
Yeah.
You know, and at the end of the day, it is what it is. But you know, it was funny. Now child support is over. You know, we still doing things for our children. You know, they still asking. And, you know, I may throw in a joke. How about taking out some of that money that you know that I couldn't help but come out of my check. You know what was it? What was the name of it? Sip chill.
What is it called?
Sup child.
Yeah, yep. It's like Sibajiju.
Sup chill. What the hell is sup chill?
Oh my
And look,
God.
and what they do is they put it in the middle so they think you don't see it. Because it's not at the top with your taxes. It's
Okay.
like all these
Say
deductions, and it
sub-chill.
says subject.
What the hell
Damn.
is sup chill?
The first time you see it, you like,
see
is
Maryland
that?
State
Like,
tax.
is that
what
a
did
new
you just
tax?
add to this?
Yeah.
Sup chill. You know, I'm calling HR. Hey,
Same thing.
HR, what the heck is sup chill? This is taking a great amount of money out of my check. But you know,
and you can't claim it on your taxes.
you can't.
That's the thing. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Be a
You
trillionaire.
can't claim it on your taxes, but she can claim them.
So you can claim it. Yeah. Yep.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So, Jackie, for you, when it was all said and done, what was the first thing you did? What were your thoughts?
Like, wow, this is really over. You know what I mean? I spent most of my lifetime in that relationship.
Give them all of that. Just give it that. 25 years.
I think it's like,
28.
Bang, bang, bang. All
you
day,
know,
all
I just kept
Can't
thinking
get it
like
back.
it's really over. I think for a while I didn't really know how to feel. You know what I mean? And then after a couple of months, I was like, damn, this is really over. So I started thinking I have to start rebuilding me. I have to get back to the things that I want to do and the things that I like to do. And I had to take time to know this new person I am. You know, I have to embrace this new person and be okay knowing that it's okay to grieve the loss of the relationship. It's okay to step into my own, in a sense. So that transition in itself, I had my ups and down days, but the more I started reclaiming me, I started to really feel good about me. So,
What about the
yeah.
blaming game? Did you have a blaming game? Did you play the blaming game?
I
did.
didn't do the blame game.
Because of you, you know.
did.
I didn't, and the reason being because I'm working at that time was working on myself and the healing because both of us played the role in it. So I own my part. It took him a while to own his part. Yeah.
I believe what helped me to move on and not say pick up where I left off was to acknowledge my faults.
Yeah.
Ask God, forgive myself, right? Because God forgave me, and then ask her to forgive me. You know, and which she did, and it really helped my process of healing and moving on to get to the point where there's life after divorce.
There is.
Because as men, we, you know, I ain't gonna never do this again, you know, because this is crazy, you know, I done whatever. But then it's the stuff that you've done. You know, we got to stop looking at the other person. Focus on what you do.
Nothing worse than looking in that mirror.
Yeah, man.
Because it's looking
fear.
right back
exactly.
at you.
You fear facing yourself a lot of times, but you have to go through that door in order to emerge a better person. That's how I look at it. I kind of had to, I always say this, get naked with yourself. I had to do that. I had to take ownership for the role I played in it. So,
Did you do it though? How long did it take for you to do it?
For me to take
take ownership right away, or you?
No, like I said, I was in shock for the first few months. So, and then after a while, I started re-examining how everything fell apart and started looking at the impact of some of my actions and owning that. And I could say I apologize for doing XYZ. I could say that because I recognize my role.
Did you play Anita Baker? I apologize.
I like that song, but
You didn't play it?
I didn't play it.
You know, we don't play those songs when they really, you know,
The
apply
mean-
to us. Like, nah, I ain't playing that.
I think, so, Anita Baker, since we're talking, Talk to Me. That was my song during that period, you know, because I'm big on talk. I just feel like we could resolve so much in getting the shit out on the table.
Right, but you got to learn to cut it off, though.
Well, you still have to be able to have a
That's why
conversation.
you're doing radio, because you could never cut it off.
Lord.
You're like, I need somewhere where I can
Look,
have
I need clarity. I need to declutter my mind.
Platform
we
of
gotta,
words.
Yeah, so we got to kind of wrap things up. But
All right.
Got a question for you. What do you have coming up?
I have coming up. My birthday. My birthday is March 24th.
All right. Happy early birthday,
And
brother.
then I'll be double nickels. So, you know, that's a milestone.
Yeah.
I pray God give me the life and strength to hold on. And then also with the stage play, The Right Kind of Love, we will be performing at Morgan State in June.
Okay.
So I look forward to that. And you know, I have other comedy stuff coming up, but if I don't go out of town, I will be at Cafe 12, probably do a guest spot with Howie G, you know,
Kiss my bump.
and the Kiss My Bumper guy, and just to do that thing. You guys can follow me on Facebook, Owen Funderburke III, IG. Owen Funderburke III, the blue shirt. If you see the yellow shirt, that's the wrong shirt because that's the shirt that was hacked. So stay with the blue shirt.
It's not the blue shirt.
Stay
anymore.
with the blue
It's
shirt.
like a enlightening symbol or something. Did you see it?
No, that's not
they
me.
They took the yellow shirt off.
They did? Okay,
Yeah.
well, it's the blue shirt, ladies and gentlemen. It's the blue shirt.
Okay.
So I appreciate the support over the years. And also, I got a TV show that will be launching between now and between now and April 1st. So stay tuned. Stay tuned.
You know, I thought you was gonna sing, man.
See, listen, I've decided I ain't gonna sing until the first single has been mastered.
Okay.
Which is coming.
Okay,
coming.
you singing now?
Yes,
Gospel.
sir. R&B.
Yeah, yeah. Put him in the
R&B.
booth. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
What's up?
I figured you wasn't. I said I hope he get his mind.
but you know I will.
I know.
You
Yeah,
know what?
I know you will.
Remember, I was
yeah.
here the first time I saw
Yeah.
it. So, but yeah, we getting really close to
That's cool.
really nabbing down.
I'm going to bring you on the
songs.
show.
I would love that.
I'm bringing you shoes. I'm gonna let you
Absolutely.
showcase your talent.
My mother keep calling me the gospel dude that sings R&B. She thinks my mother think I sound like a gospel singer.
Well, you were preaching.
Like
I
that
mean,
boy-
That way all
yeah.
began.
I be singing.
Yeah, exactly.
I play her something and she be like, "It was nice, but you hear you hear the anointing in your voice. You been talking about you hear that run? That's not an R&B." She was like, "Your dad, that's R&B.
Right.
You're gospel.
Yeah.
You just don't know it." I was like, "Nah, that's that Jodeci, man."
Yeah,
That's-
ooh yeah.
Oh,
You know, people
gosh.
yell that out at shows when I sing.
Really?
Ooh yeah.
Do you hit it for him?
Sometimes,
Yeah.
but it's always guys that do it. That's the-
Okay.
Because it goes.
I can
you
see that,
do it-
yeah.
I should do it in church.
You know,
Yeah.
you know what I found out? Like most of my constant listeners are males,
Okay.
which
You
I
know
think
why?
is dope.
You know why? Because you might give some words of encouragement so we can take home.
Yeah.
You know.
And there's a masculinity in what I do,
Right.
and there's no diss to what other people are doing. But if we can't relate, we're not interested.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember one time I did a show, and I went to go sing to the ladies, and all the guys just happened to be at the front. I stopped them. I said, "Hey,
I ain't gonna, I won't be.
why are you up here?"
Now I'm in the back. I'll be like this.
No, they was like,
Oh, they was hanging on your words.
and the ladies was in the so I'm like,
Yo, you listening?
So I'm like, "Ladies, yeah." And they like, "Yeah," and I was like, this.
that sounded gospel.
They some
I can see why you say that.
But listen, I was like, "Listen, fellas, I feel like I'm singing at a prison. This feels like a charity. So what I need you to do before I can finish singing to the ladies, you want me to keep singing to you?" They're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "But you need to come up front."
Right.
The fellas
right.
say, "Ooh yeah."
It's always like after I'm done the song, you can just hear it like, "Ooh yeah," "Ooh yeah," or I'll play it for like my own, like people I know. They will do it after they'll wait till the whole song's over.
Yeah.
Listening, and then they'll go like, "Ooh yeah." I'm like, "What?"
Wow.
They like,
Wow.
All right.
I had let Jess Hilarious come to a rehearsal one time when she was just starting.
Okay.
Well, some people I know had brought her to a rehearsal of mine, and she screamed the whole rehearsal, and then came over and was like, "Oh my God."
Was she playing though?
No.
All right.
She was literally screaming.
Yeah.
She stayed for the whole rehearsal. Everybody else, she was like, "Oh, okay." So I was like, "All right, well, let me sing." And she's like screaming.
Because you ain't, you know.
I'm gonna tell you. She was like, "Oh my God, you sound like Jodeci." And from this point on, if she's ever at wherever I'm at, if she's there, she will stand at the front of the stage.
I know that's right.
I don't care if she's with her man and entourage. If I could have 5 wives, she gonna be standing right with the wives and showing that kind of love. But I mean, if you got something that it touches people some kind of way,
definitely.
I was singing back then.
You want to tell your story now, or you want to wait till after the show?
What?
Where you get your talent from?
Oh, well, listen, I was singing back in the day. I'm going to tell you why I remember you so much. You let me hold a CD. Listen, it was called Uptown Unplugged. And it had Jodeci, Mary J. Blige, Heavy D, Father MC. It was a live CD. And you were like, you can hold it as long as you want. I just have to get it back how I gave it to you. And I taped it. And to this day, I still know that whole album.
Oh,
and
wow.
and that was part of what taught me how to do harmony, sing lead, what I should sound like, what I shouldn't sound like.
And that's why you sound a little like Jodeci.
I was the biggest Jodeci fan in the world.
Yeah.
Okay.
Them cats
Gotcha.
amazing.
You know, they
yeah.
just did the show with New Edition, and I got to go see them. And I got a chance to meet KC, and he heard me sing, and I got a chance to tell him how much I appreciated him. Not that night, but yeah, they were, yeah. So.
At least you had a good
And my dad's a
experience.
singer, so there we go.
A good experience with the
Right,
celebrity.
you got that Baltimore royalty.
I mean,
You know, I mean,
listen, you can't help it. You know, you can't.
What's your stage name?
J. Esquire.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's what's
And
up.
my dad was the lead singer of the Soft Tones, so
Okay.
I.
Bet you by
Yeah, for sure.
don't you do it, man.
So,
don't
ladies
you do
and
it.
gentlemen, we thank y'all for tuning in. Once again, this was amazing.
It was. I'm so
Yeah.
proud of you.
I
I'm so
appreciate
proud
you
of
letting me
Yeah.
lead. Owen,
Yeah.
it's a pleasure, man.
Likewise.
Thank you so
Good
much,
seeing you,
man. Man, we
Kareem,
gonna see each other
my
again.
Kareem, my cousin, he gave you a shout out.
Oh, word?
Yeah.
Tell myself what up, what's happening?
So for next week's show, I have comedian
my guy.
Bruce Daddy and
My guy.
comedian Smooth.
Oh, okay. That's gonna
Yeah,
be
they
fun.
coming
Like
on
that.
next
Yeah.
week. Yeah, so
Okay.
I'm excited about that too. They are crazy
That's
as
gonna
hell.
be fun.
Yeah, Lee, that's a show I should have been on. But,
I was trying to give you your moment, man.
give me my
So you need to
moment.
come
Good
back.
night, y'all.
Good night. Good
Peace
night.
out, everybody.
Thank
God
you.
bless.
You can come back.
Taboo, sensual touch. Erotic, taboo, sensual touch. Touch me, kiss me, squeeze me, hold me. 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 Erotic, taboo, sensual touch. Erotic, taboo, sensual touch. Erotic, taboo, sensual touch.
Listen. Did anybody see ya creeping up on my front door? Just thinking about your body makes me realize I want more. Cause girl, we put it down. I love what we do. Yeah, just for me and you. Girl, let's make one thing so crystal clear, that everything we do, it stays here. You're mine. See, red